Hi guys. So in today's video, we will discuss an important Supreme Court decision involving RA 10175, also known as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Our case is GR number 256700, April 25, 2023, People of the Philippines, Petitioner versus Jomerito S. Soliman and respondent. And this case is important. Why? Because it clarifies when online libel becomes punishable and how freedom of speech is balanced with accountability in the cyberspace. So before we move on to the case, let us first know what is RA 10175. So RA 10175, or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, was enacted to address crimes committed through information and communication technologies. Some punishable acts under RA 10175 includes hacking, identity theft, online fraud, cyber sex, cyber libel. Cyber libel is essentially libel committed using a computer system with social media posts, blogs, or online comments. Compared to ordinary libel under the revised penal code, cyber libel carries a higher penalty because of the wider reach and permanence of online publications. So now, now we know what is RA 10175. So what is this case all about? This case revolves around Facebook posts made by Jomerito S. Soliman, which allegedly contain defamatory statements against another individual. The main question is whether these online statements constitute cyber libel and if the elements of the crime were properly established. And based on what I've understand on the case while I was reading it, Jomerito S. Soliman published Facebook posts accusing certain individual of immoral and illegal acts. The posts were uh, it includes this like publicly accessible, and it is also clearly identifiable as referring to the complainant. And allegedly, if the post damage the complainant's reputation, reputation, yes, because the statements were made online. The prosecution charged Soliman with cyber libel under Section 4 C4 of RA 10175 in relation to Article 353 of the revised penal code. The lower court dismissed the case, however, and prompting the people of the Philippines to elevate the matter to the Supreme Court. So it went from the lower court to Supreme Court. This means this case is really important to discuss. So, what are the issues of the case? No, the, Sup- the Supreme Court was asked to resolve the following key issues. Number one, whether the Facebook posts constitute libelous statements. Did the post include a crime, vice, or defect that could dishonor or discredit the complainant? And there's a there's also a possibility, like you have to consider that this might be just an opinion of a one person. So why did one opinion of a person went to court? Because it damaged a person's reputation without a evidence, no? So you can just say anything on the internet and destroying or damaging people's reputation without an evidence or with, and you can really be blatant about it. And number two, whether the elements of cyber libel were present. These elements are like defamatory imputation, publication, identification of the offended party, malice, and the use of a computer system. And number three, whether freedom of speech protects the accused was both a protected expression or a punishable abuse of free speech. No? So the Supreme Court in favor of the people of the Philippines and held that the Facebook posts were prima facie defamatory and the complainant was clearly identifiable. The posts were published online, satisfying the requirement of a computer system on mouse. The court emphasized that malice is presumed in defamatory statements unless proven otherwise. Soliman failed to sufficiently show that his posts were fair commentary, privileged communication, and made in good faith. On freedom of speech, otherwise, the court ruled that freedom of expression is not absolute. While citizens have the right to criticize false statements that damage a person's reputation are not protected, especially when published online. As a result, the dismissal of the case was reversed, and the prosecution for cyber libel was allowed to proceed. So, what I have learned, or what are the key lessons I have learned from this case? Number one, we have that social media posts are not absolute free speech. By absolute free speech, it means you can say anything you want, anything that, any idea that pops up on your mind, and say whatever you want. Okay. So right now we have a law that protects us or uh, stops us from doing that. No. But but in a good way, it stops us from doing bad things on the internet and only post the good stuff. So by only posting the good stuff, yung kunwari, mga pictures mo or your ideas, your interests, hobbies, whatever, it's fine. But when it comes to damaging another reputation of a person or you're doing something illegal na and can damage the viewers or their ideas about something, those can lead to criminal liability. Posting them on Facebook is considered publication under the law. And number two, cyber libel has stricter consequences because online content spreads quickly and permanently. And with this, because of this, penalties are higher. So right now in 2025, we're currently updated, no? So ang napansin ko, in the last 5 years, pataas lang ng pataas yung mga gumagamit ng phone. Or what I mean is, yung users ng phone is pataas ng pataas. And the consequence of that is marami ng mga nakakakita or nakaka-access sa internet, Facebook, social media, whatever. So, kaya makikita mo mga post ngayon, like, ang dali na lang nila maaabot yung mga 89K likes or mga reactions, 100K, 200K, no? Like, kung dati, kung ikukumpara natin dati, mga 2015, 2016, medyo mga ano pa yan, mahirap pa yan. Like, kailangan sobrang sikat ka, siguro si ano ka, no? Si Taylor Swift, ganun. Pero nga, right now, any social media influencer that the algorithm shows to you can easily get to hundreds of thousands of reactions. No? So that's why we have to be careful on what we post online. And with this, freedom of speech has limits. You are free to express opinions, but not to spread false accusations that harm others. No? Kaya we also have to be careful posting that. So we have to think before you post. Ang bawat post, share at comment ay may legal consequences. Kahit nga yung mga comment or mag-comment ka sa post na 'to ta's mag-reply yung owner ta's nagkagalitan kayo, magkaaway-away kayo, 'di ba? Yung mga gano'ng mga senaryo na sa and RA 10175 remains a powerful legal tool. The law continues to adapt traditional crime to the digital age. And in conclusion, People versus Solomon reminds us that the internet is not a lawless place. With great freedoms comes great responsibility, especially in the digital world. And if you found this discussion helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next class. Bye bye.